battle within the Ministry of Agriculture under the supervision of the CS for Agriculture. How on earth did NCPB procure hundreds of thousands of bags of NPK fertilizer from a briefcase company? A briefcase company going by the name MEMS Distributors Limited. A company that has had no history of dealing with fertilizer. Then MEMS goes ahead and approaches Kale's Chemicals Limited to manufacture for it the fertilizer for its supply to NCPB. What happens? Kale's manufactures and supplies to MEMS only 69,000 bags of the NPK fertilizer, 10, 16, 10. But then what happens again? MEMS distributors proceeds to supply NCPB with over 400,000 bags. So the question is, where did MEMS distributors and NCPB get the extra hundreds of thousands of bags of this fertilizer? Where? From where? And then it turns out that these extra bags of fertilizer are the ones that were actually stones. What have you? Stones, gravel, sand, and donkey waste, I'm told. So somebody is basically sabotaging the very, very survival of this country. And the cabinet secretary cannot feign ignorance. Because if he feigns ignorance, then he is not fit to hold that office. Then he is unfit. Then he is incompetent. How? But then NCPB goes ahead and pays for this fertilizer, this fake fertilizer. I may call it air, because farmers would never use it anyway. NCPB rushes to pay for this fertilizer. It basically tells you that somebody powerful was pulling the strings behind the scenes. That is the point. Somebody even more powerful was pulling the strings behind the scenes. So the cabinet secretary cannot absolve himself from accountability on this matter. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, even more intriguing, as we are told that investigations are being conducted by the relevant investigative agencies. And we are also being told here by my friend, the chairman of JLAC and Owen Bayer, that the Committee on Agriculture is also seized of the matter, that we wait for the outcome of their investigations or inquiries. And yet, NCPB goes ahead to decree that it is embarking on a scheme to compensate farmers who purchase the fake fertilizer. Then you ask yourself, where are they getting the money from? This House, to the best of my recollection, did not authorize any such expenditure. Did not. Where did NCPB get the authority and the money to compensate farmers? Yet, even before the investigations are complete, do we even know how much was this fake fertilizer as we speak? Do we know? We don't know. We don't know. Honorable Speaker, from what I know, and you know, my Honorable Speaker, I have a lot of information. From what I know is that what we are being told is just but the tip of the iceberg. When the full extent of this fertilizer scandal is exposed, you will be shocked. It will be worse than Goldenberg scandal. What we are being told is just but the tip of the iceberg. And you know, Honorable Speaker, in my capacity as leader of the MIO, this side, I am privy to a lot of information. In fact, information just comes to me. I don't go looking for information. And I've got a file for each of these ministers and the PSS. Let me tell you, even if this House attempts to allow Linturi to go scot-free, in the fullness of time, each and every person who is involved in this racket will have a date with their destiny.
Your time is up. I told you you had 15 minutes. 30 seconds.
Let me just say that I support this motion, and I want to appeal to all my colleagues. Let's just send a message home, regardless of our political affiliation, today, by sending these CS home. That will actually earn us a lot of respect as an institution of parliament. Let's for once allow this process to get to the select committee to undertake proper investigation and inquiry at the hearings, Honorable Speaker. With those very many remarks, I support.
Mary Wamaua. I see you on the screen. You seem to be unprepared. Malulu Njendi, you've keyed in and you...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I arise actually to oppose this motion. Mr. Speaker, as I oppose this motion, I also want to make it clear to the mover that persons who are opposing this motion are not of unsound mind, as he alleged in his moving remarks. He said persons who are opposing this motion have unsound mind. You said that, it's unanswered. So I want to confirm that I'm of a sound mind as I oppose this motion. Mr. Speaker, as I oppose this motion, it is simply because many times we have wanted to sacrifice people who are not really victims of what we want to sacrifice them for. I recall, Mr. Speaker, in Kakamega County, they also saw this fake fertilizer by the county government. Mr. Speaker, upon investigation, it was found that this fertilizer, as much as everyone was crying for the head of the governor, it was something fishy with the supplier, with the standards in the Kakamega County. Madam Speaker, personally, at all this, I'm looking at the role of the CEO of National Cereals and Produce Board. What is his role in this procurement? Mr. Speaker, I'm also asking myself, what is the role of Kenya Bureau of Standards? Mr. Speaker, these are the key bodies that were advising on what to be supplied and finally what was supplied in terms of standards. Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid that what is being alleged here, I have a feeling it could be something that is beyond what's on this floor, because most of us, as we arise to speak, as even raised by Honorable Bayer, we could be seeing more than what you're seeing on the floor of this House. It could be something that has gone wrong somewhere, maybe in a family line or something like that, that finally it has found itself on the floor. Mr. Speaker, this matter is under investigation. The CEO of the National Cereals and Produce Board has been arrested. So if we proceed, for example, now to impeach the minister or the CS, Mr. Speaker, personally, I will be taking it to be that you have actually acted before the actual truth about this fertilizer has come out. I would that we actually don't proceed with this motion so that we give time to the actual bodies that are entitled with investigations to investigate. They complete the process of investigation. Court cases take this matter through. ESC takes this matter through. But finally, when you have a report, then this matter can come on the floor of the House. Mr. Speaker, I'm also aware this matter is under the Agriculture Committee of the National Assembly, also the Agriculture Committee of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I would that we let this matter, first of all, be processed by those respective committees, after which now we can proceed whether this CS is really criminal or this matter as alleged by the mover. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I oppose this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I start by stating on record that I support this motion. And if you look at the names of those members of parliament who have appended their signatures, for the removal or initiation of the process of removal of this cabinet secretary, I am number 57. Madam Mr. Speaker, I want to just mention a few things. Number one, National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, has a responsibility. And this responsibility is given to us by the people of Kenya through the constitution that we have today. Article 95, Mr. Speaker, 5 of the Constitution, and I want to read, gives the National Assembly the responsibility to review the conduct of in office of the President, the Deputy President, and other state officers, including cabinet secretaries, and initiates the process of removing them from office. So, Mr. Speaker, what we are embarking on today is one of those cardinal responsibilities given to National Assembly by the people of Kenya to review the conduct of a cabinet secretary, one Linturi, to hold office with a view to initiate the process of removing him. Madam Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with those members of parliament who think they want to save Linturi. If I were you, if you love this cabinet secretary,